It will start. Go right to Kansas City, where college basketball was a very big deal. But not the only game in town. The Royals and Blue Jays, the other one. And a guy on the spotlight for Toronto, George Bell. Last season's MVP, an undeniable slugger, but a reluctant designated hitter. Forced by management this season to give up his glove and his spot in left field. How would George respond? Well, first things first, bottom of the first, Toronto starter Jimmy Key facing another George, Brett, who waited on an off-speed pitch and clouded a two-run homer to right to get the Royals' engine started. Kansas City, badly in need of offense, got a boost from who else but Brett. Now to George Bell, first time up as the new DH. Bell, facing Brett Saberhagen, pulled an inside fastball and parked it. Then, in the fourth inning, with a man on, Bell hit a breaking ball high into the air and over the fence. And now Toronto had its first lead of the game, 3-2. Then, with 2 outs in the eighth, Saberhagen delivered to Bell, and George made him pay again. George Bell put aside all that spring training controversy because the Blue Jays became the Blue Jays DH and became the first player in Major League history to slug 3 home runs on opening day.
That's it. I think today it was more lucky those guys had, and I hit 3 home runs. I think it's a good start.
Tremendous win. I mean, you can't say enough. George had a tremendous game. A couple other guys chipped in. Jimmy threw a heck of a game, and the relievers did their job.
To Fenway Park, the Red Sox opened against the Tigers and threw out Roger Clemens, who had a sensational spring, but the 2-time Cy Young winner was slightly off the mark in the third when Detroit's Chet Lemon went with the pitch, lashed a shot to right. It rolled to the wall. Pat Sheridan rolled around all the way from first and scored to break the scoring seal. Tigers soon went up 2-0, but Boston got cooking in the fourth when with 2 on, Dwight Evans jumped on a Jack Morris pitch and banged it off the wall to score a run, trigger a 3-run inning that pushed the Red Sox ahead 3-2. But in the sixth, Clemens came down the pipe with a fastball to Matt Noakes, and he cranked it over the right field wall and out to tie the game at 3 off the umbrellas. And it stayed that way into the 10th. Time for Boston's new savior from the bullpen to strut his stuff, but Lee Smith instead grooved one to Alan Trammell, who belted it into the screen, a 2-run homer that broke the tie and won the game. Smith got the loss. Clemens struck out 11, but it was Jack Morris who spaced 9 hits, walked only 1, and got 10th inning relief to win it for the Tigers. Well, the Orioles opened at home against the Brewers and drew the largest regular season crowd in franchise history. And in the fourth inning, Milwaukee led 1-0. Had Greg Brock on third when Glenn Braggs flew one to one of the newest birds. Right fielder Joe Orsulek, who looked like the late Roberto Clemente when he gunned down Brock at the plate. Orsulek played for Pittsburgh last year. Still, the Brewers chipped away at starter Mike Boddicker, led 3-0 with runners at the corners in the fifth. They both took off. Catcher Terry Kennedy looked at third, hesitated, while Paul Molitor came streaking home and beat the throw back. In the meantime, Milwaukee starter Teddy Guerra was hot. Fanned 4 of the first 6 batters, and here in the 6th sent Cal Ripken Jr. back to the dugout empty-handed. By then, Boddicker was history. New Oriole reliever Oswaldo Peraza grooved one to Dale Swain. He smashed it to dead center. Brewers exploded, lay 16 hits, including that 2-run blast, stepped all over the Orioles, who managed only 5 hits in a dismal opening day before a large and disappointed crowd in Baltimore.
The first look at the new-look A's. Mark Langston going against Dave Stewart. Tony La Russa says, second place, no way, I'll slit my throat. Dave Stewart, with the bases loaded, struck out Glenn Wilson, then faced Dave Valley. But the new balk rule claims a victim early. Don Denkinger sends Mike Kingery home. That was the only run the Mariners would score. Langston had his trouble. Dave Henderson hit a 2-run homer, then was on second with a double when Don Baylor, the former Twin, sinks it into right field, scores Henderson. It is 3-1. The A's closed it when Jose Canseco hits a rope off Langston into the left field corner, and Dick Williams' debut for the 1988 season is unsuccessful. The A's win it by a final count of 4-1. Stewart at one point retired 18 in a row, gave up just 2 hits into the 9th inning. At Arlington, the Rangers and Charlie Hoff hosting Tom Candiotti in Cleveland. A duel of knucklers, and Charlie Hoff found out early that his knuckler wasn't working. Julio Franco takes him over the 400-foot sign. Huff settled down from there, though. In the top of the 7th, the Indians led 3-2 when the Rangers got the lead for Huff. Should have been a double play ball. Instead, the pivot is thrown away, and the Indians tie it at 3. Bottom of the 8th. Pete O'Brien, who had homered earlier in the game, goes opposite field. His second solo home run breaks the 3-all tie, and gives Texas a dramatic opening day victory, 4-3 with that bottom of the 8th home run.
Famous lady first pitching in Chicago, Bonnie Blair, gold medal winning speed skater before the Sox opened in California. Nice arm, Bond. She got a short hop to Carlton fifth there a little bit. Anyway, there we are at the bottom of the 5th. 1-on, 2-1 Angels. Kenny Williams takes a Mike Whitten pitch and drives it deep to left. Upper deck job, 3-2 White Sox. They scored 3 in the 5th inning. In the bottom of the 7th, 2-on, 4-3 Angels. Williams greets reliever Stu Clyburn. Hello, Stu. Here's a double to right. Over the head of Chili Davis, a new Angel. Carlton Fisk scores, and it's all tied up at 4. Williams, 2 for 3 with 3 RBI. Next batter up, Donnie Hill grounds one that Wally Joyner boots at first base. Dan Pasqua scores. White Sox come up with a 5-run 7th inning, and the Pale Hose go on to win it by a final count of 8-5. What bad ankle? Williams, who was nursing a sore ankle, they weren't even sure he was going to play today, saw action in only 21 ball games with the big club last season, just barely not a rookie. The 2-run big fly, the big double, Rick Horton, the winning pitcher, as the Sox maintain a piece of first in the American League's West.
Well, the National League story on opening day always starts in Cincinnati, and the Reds as always were home, this time opening against the defending pennant-winning Cardinals. Record regular season crowd came to Riverfront Stadium, watched the game go to the 4th, tied at 1, when the Cardinals put 2 on against Red starter Mario Soto, who faced his counterpart, pitcher Joe McGrain, and then put it right in McGrain's wheelhouse. And look at what happened. The pitcher cracked a tie-breaking 3-run homer. Soto was trying to hide. Cincinnati's Jose Rio on in relief in the 6th. St. Louis looked to put the game away. Instead, Bob Horner came up with the bases loaded and walked away. Looked at strike 3. The Reds came back, scored a couple, and then down a run, got a man to second when rookie Jeff Treadway put down a beautiful drag bunt. Horner flopped for the ball, threw it away, and Cincinnati had come back, tied the game, forced extra innings. We go all the way to the bottom of the 12th. Treadway walked, was sacrificed to second. Then Larry McWilliams unloaded a wild pitch. Now Treadway was 90 feet away when with 1 out, Cal Daniels lashed one to center. Willie McGee came up empty, charging the ball, and Cincinnati had done it. Came from 3 down, caught it past the Cardinals, who also lost left-handed reliever Ken Daly, who pulled muscles in his back. To Montreal, Expos and Mets. New York City, the Experts is the team to beat in the East. One change for the Mets is at shortstop. Rafael Santana's gone. Rookie Kevin Elster's in. And the kid came through in the field here in the 3rd, running down that pop fly. But can Elster hit? Well, the Mets bat him 8th. And the next inning, he came up against Montreal starter Denny Martinez, scooped a low pitch, up, and away. A 2-run poke that powered the Mets to a 4-1 lead. The Expos scored a couple, and then their new catcher, Jeff Reed, thrust into a starting role, delivered with a chopper through the box and into center to tie the game. Dwight Gooden was struggling, but the Mets just kept flexing the muscle. In the next inning, with 2 on, 2 out, Len Dykstra got a hold of a fastball, drove it to dead center, and out, a 3-run homer that pumped the Mets in front 7-4. Later, Darryl Strawberry, who had homered and singled twice, got a hold of another and set a titanic blast that the camera couldn't even keep up with. It smashed off the roof, fellas. Tilt up there. Strawberry hit 2, so Kevin McReynolds homered twice. Dwight Gooden struggled, gave up the most hits in a game in his career, but got the win thanks to 6 homers, the most by any team on any opening day.
And the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine, Dodger Stadium, L.A. with all of those new faces and renewed hope. But the Giants have made one big change in their lineup as well this season, and the new guy paid immediate dividends, as we'll see in a moment. But first, check out the first pitch of the ball game. Very first one. Bottom of the 1st, Steve Sachs is up. Steve Sachs is batting for the Dodgers. Dave Dravecky pitches, and it gets launched. I should say the first pitch of the bottom half of the inning. It is launched up, and away. Dravecky goes, wait a minute, we got big problems. A big fly on my first pitch. I don't know what to do about this. Anyway, Dravecky settled down the rest of the way, allowing a couple of harmless singles. Top of the 3rd, Aldretti on 2nd, Will Clark on 1st. Valenzuela pickoff attempt is wild, goes through the center field. Shelby overthrows Pedro Guerrero at 3rd. Aldretti scores, ties the game up at 1. Clark goes to 3rd. He would come home on a Kevin Mitchell sacrifice fly. Now, 2-1 Giants, top of the 4th. Brett Butler, he's a new guy I was telling you. Couple of men on, whacks a Valenzuela offering down the right field line. Jose Uribe scores, no problem. Dave Dravecky comes around to score, no problem. 4-1 in favor of the Giants. They go on to win it 5-1. Dravecky worked a jewel today, a 3-hitter. 5-1, and Sachs had 2 of the hits. 5-1 the final score. He struck out 3, and the Giants are winners. Now, 4 more ballparks will house opening day thrills and chills tomorrow. Philly, Houston, Atlanta, and Yankee Stadium. There, as I mentioned before, the Twins will open defense of their World Series championship. They will try to break the streak. What streak? In the last 10 years, no team has successfully defended the world title. Nick?
Well, now our nightly feature, the play of the day. It happened in baseball opening day, you know, a lot of action to choose from. But the one that warmed our collective heart most happened at Arlington Stadium. Rangers against the Indians. It was what happened just before the game that was most special. Jessica McClure, the 2-year-old rescued last October after spending 58 hours in an abandoned Midland, Texas water well, rolled out the ceremonial first pitch as the Rangers opened their season. Jessica bounced the one-hopper into the mid of Texas catcher Gino Petralli from 3 feet away. To prove it was no accident, she did it twice to the roars and applause of the Arlington Stadium crowd. And that is our play of the day.
The traditional opener, it's a holiday always in Cincinnati. Young and older fans are there. As the Reds, it's a great scene at Riverfront. They're playing the Cardinals. Joe McGrain, though, gave the Reds a major headache. The pitcher of the Cards with a 3-run shot off Mario Scotch and Soto. And there's his reaction right there. Made it 4-1. But in the 7th, the youngster, Jeff Treadway, with the bunt, and Horner's throw is nowhere. And so, Chris Sabo scores, and we are tied at 4. In the 11th inning, with John Franco on in relief, watch Treadway, the young second baseman, make the fine throw to keep Vince Coleman off the base pass and push the game into the 12th inning eventually. And then against Cal Jack Daniels, he takes Larry McWilliams to right center field. Jeff Treadway motors home, if you will, and the Reds were 5-4 winners.
This team won't quit. I mean, this team, we're going to get beat a lot, and we're going to win a lot, but we're not going to quit. And we got good come-from-behind type people. You know, we can hit the ball out of the ballpark, and we can run the bases, and we can get guys on the bases. So we're going to be an exciting team to watch. I just hope we don't play every game 12 innings, or Bo Diaz won't be able to walk by the All-Star break.
Pete Rose always quotes, and certainly after you win opening day, you can have a smile as the Reds beat the Cardinals 5-4 in 12 innings. At Los Angeles, Giants-Dodgers, classic opening day matchup. And at Dodger Stadium, the balloon they thought would burst when the first man up for the Dodgers, Steve Alto Sachs, takes Dave Dravecky down the left field line for a home run. Dravecky pitched so marvelously for the Giants in September and October. Would he be touched? Well, not too much after that. Meanwhile, Fernando had his problems against the Giants, as he always does. There's a wild throw, and then T-Bone Shelby throws it even wilder, and Mike Enough Aldretti comes around to score. Top of the 4th inning, the new Giant leadoff man is Brett Butler. He had 3 hits, including his triple down the right field line. Jose game-winning Uribe scores, as does Dravecky. And meanwhile, remember the home run? Yeah, they leave L.A. sometimes early, don't they? And why not? Because Dravecky ended the game with a K on Kirk Gibson, gave up the leadoff homer, then only 2 more hits as he went the route. Giants over the Dodgers, 5-1.
A much sadder note now in baseball. One of the game's feared power hitters of his time, Ted Kluszewski, died of an apparent heart attack Tuesday in Cincinnati. He was 63. Kluszewski enjoyed some productive years with the Reds from 1947 to 57. The big left-hander hit 49 homers in 1949. He had 279 for his career. Kluszewski also played at Pittsburgh with the Chicago White Sox and the L.A. Angels. The baseball world will certainly miss him.
The World Series.
The last couple of years, we've just been tired of losing, and I think this year we're going to turn it around. We're going to change things, and we're going to win a lot of ball games this year.
And while the Dodgers hope for bigger and brighter results, their rivals from San Francisco are faced with the pressure of repeating as the champions of the National League West.
What about pressure? The pressure. The pressure.
Don't even talk about pressure. Don't even say that word in my presence. I think pressure is something you put on yourself. You don't think about it, it ain't there.
Perhaps it is too early to talk about pressure. After all, this is just the beginning of April. We'll save that topic for late September, when the pennant races really heat up. In Los Angeles, I'm Michael Kalman, CNN Sports.
A new season with 9 games, 7 afternoon affairs. The Milwaukee Brewers captivated the attention of the baseball world last year by reeling off 13 straight wins to begin the season. This year's club got off to a resounding start, chalking up victory number 1 of the young season, 12-0 at Baltimore. With a 6-run lead, the Brewers exploded for 6 runs in the 8th inning off reliever Dave Schmidt, robbed Deere with a pair of RBI doubles on the day. This afternoon's first game took place at Fenway Park, and Alan Trammell's 2-out, 2-run home run off ace reliever Lee Smith in the 10th gave the defending American League East champion Detroit Tigers a 5-3 win over the Sox. Tigers starter Jack Morris fanned 9 batters. He's now 7-2 on opening days. Toronto took care of Kansas City. Last year's American League most valuable player George Bell smacked 3 home runs for the Blue Jays. And at Chicago, the White Sox with a comfortable lead over divisional rival California. A tight one in the traditional National League opener at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium. Cardinals starter Joe McGrain smacked a 3-run home run, but the Reds have battled back. It's now in extra innings. New York is playing at Montreal, and the Mets got a 3-run home run from Lenny Dykstra to take the lead. And defending National League West champ San Francisco, a big lead at Los Angeles. This afternoon's first game took place at Fenway Park, and Alan Trammell's 2-run home run off ace reliever Lee Smith in the 10th gave the defending American League East champion Detroit Tigers a 5-3 win over the Sox. Tigers starter Jack Morris fanned 9 batters. He's now 7-2 on opening days. In Kansas City, the Blue Jays took care of the Royals 5-3. Last year's American League most valuable player.
We'll go out to Kansas City, join Bob Lee, John Saunders, and Dick Vitale. Now, it is Monday, the day after Easter, and of course you have the post-holiday blahs. Things didn't go well at work, kids screaming at home, but all of a sudden you remembered. It is opening day, and all of a sudden your pain floated away like driftwood. Play ball, a marvelous sound, was first heard in Boston as the Red Sox hosted the Detroit Tigers. And although it was a cloudy, overcast day in Boston, who cared? The umpires were set. Roger Clemens was set, struck out the Tigers' side in the second inning, had 11 Ks. That was Chet Bitter Lemon. But in Lemon's next at bat in the fourth inning, he laces one down the right field line with Pat Sheridan on the move from first base. Mike Greenwell comes up with the ball. Evans with the throw home, but Sheridan is safe, and at this point the Tigers lead it 2-0. Bottom of the fourth, Sam Little Bighorn, the young Red Sox DH, with a base hit to the right side off Jack Morris. 2-run scores. The Red Sox lead it 3-2. Top of the sixth. Boom! Matty, no. Sends one back. Look at the umbrella. Doink! Off the umbrella for a home run, and we are tied at 3. Extra innings. Lee Smith, the new stopper for the Red Sox. No, not the stopper. Alan Trammell, 2-run shot with 2 out in the top of the 10th. And the Tigers go ahead 5-3 and go on to nail it down behind Henneman, who came on for Morris. Detroit beats the Red Sox 5-3-10. Clemens had 11 Ks through 9. Morris had 9 Ks through 9. Jack Morris now 7-2 on opening days. Meanwhile, in Baltimore, largest regular season crowd ever to watch an Oriole game, 52,395. Into town came the Brujas. Rob Bombardier
0-1 pitch.
against Mike Boddicker with a shot past the new third baseman Rick Really Big Shoe. B.J. Surhoff scores, hits 1-0 Brewers. On to the fifth, the Brewers lead at 3-0. The double steal by the Brewers. Molitor stole 3 on the day. He's there. Molitor comes home, and it's 4-0 Brewers. Then in the 8th, with a 6-0 score, Dale Swain sends this offering from Oswald Peraza. And gone. Swain at 3 hits. Cal Ripken Sr. says, oh, no, not another year like last year. Hey, what is it with April and the Brewers? They win all the time. Milwaukee bombs the Orioles 12-0, 16 hits. Higuera goes the first 7, gives up 3 hits, struck out 7. Not only did Boddicker get the loss, but he left with a slightly sprained ankle. In Kansas City, not only the Final Four they worried about, Royals opening at home against Toronto. And the bottom of the first, George Brett gave the Royals fans plenty to cheer about as he sends his Jimmy Key pitch way back for a 2-run homer, and the Royals led it 2-0. Top of the second. Yes, he was DH today. George Taco Bell, first at bat as a DH, sends this one off Brett Saberhagen way back. Home run number 1 for Bell. It's 2-1. Top of the fourth. Mosby on first base. Bell sends this Saberhagen offering way back. Is it on the lawn in center field? Yes, it is. It's a 3-2 lead. In the top of the 8th. Bell again sends one back, all off Brett Saberhagen. First man ever to hit 3 home runs on opening day, and as a DH, George Taco Bell sends the Royals, the Blue Jays, to a 5-3 win over the Kansas City Royals as Key beat Saberhagen and Henke came on to nail it down. Meanwhile, in Chicago, 36,000 saw the youngster for the White Sox, Kenny Williams, homer and double and drive in 3 runs. Ricky Horton, here's a who, gets his first win as a White Sox as Chicago spoils the debut of California manager Cookie Days of Wine and Rojas. 8-5, the White Sox win it. At Texas tonight, it's Cleveland at the Strangers. You think there'll be a few balks called in this game with the Knucklers going Candiotti against Charlie Huff? Probably. And on the West Coast, Seattle at Oakland later tonight as Mark Langston, 19-game winner last year, goes against Dave Stewart, 20-game winner last year for the A's. Now, sure, the games have begun, but since there are 161 of them left for all American League teams at the very least, it is not too late for our spring training crew who cover the junior circuit, Jim Cott and Roger Twibell, to give us their thoughts.
The American League Eastern Division might have the 5 best and the 2 worst teams of any division in baseball. It's a toss-up between any of those 5, and it's a toss-up between those 2 as who's to finish first and who's to finish last. But let's make our predictions right now for the 1988 season. I like the Boston Red Sox to finish first in the American League Eastern Division because of one man, and that's Lee Smith. The last 4 years for the Cubs, he's had 30 or more saves, and I think with the Red Sox, good starting pitching, some good young hitters, and Lee Smith, the Red Sox will finish atop the Eastern Division. Second place team, the Milwaukee Brewers, managed by Tom Trebelhorn. Maybe the best team in baseball at the end of last year. If Molitor stays healthy, they're going to be awfully good this year. They'll finish in second. The third place team, the always close but never quite there Toronto Blue Jays. Jimmy Williams has got his hands full this year. His superstar George Bell is not real happy about being the DH. The Blue Jays will finish third. The fourth place team, the Detroit Tigers. Sparky Anderson said it himself. He said, we might be a better baseball team, but finish 5th this year. It's an awfully tough division. And, of course, they've lost Kurt Gibson. Combine that with Parrish the year before. 2 impact players in 2 years. It's going to be tough for the Tigers. The fifth place team, well, the New York Yankees. George and Billy again. What else can we say? Will Lou Piniella be back as manager? Will Billy be fired and be up the general manager? Who knows? All I know is as long as George is running the show, things are not going to be right. And then the 2 last place teams, the Orioles and the Cleveland Indians. Well, folks, that's just a plain pick'em. You probably could guess better than me. That's our look at the American League Eastern Division. We're looking for the Boston Red Sox to finish on top, and once again, that will be the toughest division in baseball.
It's the time of the year when everybody loves to make predictions. They can get you in trouble, but I'm going to make them anyway. In the American League Western Division, I like the Kansas City Royals to win it. They have the best pitching staff in the American League. I think the Twins will finish second. They're still a little thin in pitching. The Oakland Athletics, everybody picks them to win. I think they'll finish third. They're a little inexperienced up the middle. Catcher, short, second, center field. The Seattle Mariners can score some runs. They need to add some pitching depth. They'll finish fourth. The Texas Rangers, injury to Dale Mahorsic and Ed Correa. Their pitching's a little thin. I think they'll finish fifth. Sixth and seventh, the toss-up between the California Angels and the Chicago White Sox. It'll be a long year for both those ball clubs. I'm Jim Cott for SportsCenter.
All right, guys, and some other predictions. This is the way it stacks up in the AL East, and those of us that live here in New England get scared when all these people pick the Red Sox. I'm going to have to go personally with the Blue Jays. That's my personal pick. The AL West, well, a lot of people are thinking that the A's are the chic pick this year. Personally, I'm going to have to go with the Royals. So if it's Blue Jays Royals, it's 85 revisited, but we shall see, and we'll be back with more on this edition of SportsCenter. Oh, yes, they had opening day in the National League, too. We also have plenty of opening day is Cincinnati. It's a city holiday as the Reds opened up against the defending National League champs, the St. Louis Cardinals, and never in the 18-year history at Riverfront have they had a bigger crowd than they had today. 55,438, and some of them will be at many more opening days. And the pitcher for the Cards, Joe McGrain headache, gave Mario Scotch and Soto exactly that when he sends this ball over the wall for a 3-run homer. And the Cards led it 4-1, and there's Soto's reaction. But with the score 4-3 in the 6th, rookie sensation for the Reds, Jeff Treadway, drags the bunt. Bob Horner fires it. Where is this going? And Sabo scores. Chris Sabo comes around to score. We're tied at 4. Extra innings. In the 11th inning, watch Treadway at second base make the nice throw to first base to get the material Vince Coleman. And in the 12th inning, Larry McWilliams on in relief. Cal Jack Daniels sends one to right center field, and here it is. Jeff Treadway motors home. Yes, you get it. And in 12, it was Cincinnati 5 and the Cardinals 4. The Reds have won 5 straight opening day games. Meanwhile, at Montreal, the Mets were at the Expos. Rookie Kevin Elster doing it in the field. The young shortstop for the Mets got to fill big shoes on this talent-laden squad. Makes the long run and down the left field line on Tom Foley's pop. Then, second man up the next inning was Elster in the 4th inning. Off Dennis Martinez, he sends this one au revoir, and the Mets lead it 4-1. The Expos have tied it at 4 in the 6th with 2 outs. Lenny Dykstra sends this one to center field. And it is gone. 7-4, the Mets lead it. Strawberry had 2 home runs. Kevin McReynolds had 2 home runs. Never before in opening day history has one team had 6 home runs. The Mets did it. And so, despite the fact that Doc Johnny B. Gooden did not pitch well, The Mets beat the Expos 10-6. Pitching well, yeah, Dave Dravecky had done that in the playoffs last year for the Giants, and he picks up where he leaves off. Gives up a leadoff homer to Steve Alto Saxton, gives up only 2 more Dodger hits. The rest of the game, as always, the Giants own Fernando, and in Los Angeles, it's the Giants 5, and the Dodgers 1. Brett Butler had a big 2-run triple for the Giants. So now we have our firsts of the 1988 season, and it's time for a review, in case you weren't paying attention. Now, baseball means all sorts of fans come to the park. I mean, the fans go ape. The bubble was burst as baseball began today. Fans had to juggle their work schedule to make sure they could get to the game. First balls, well, Olympic skier Pam Fletcher, remember she broke her leg, could not compete in the Olympics. She threw out the first ball at Fenway. Nice touch by the Red Sox. And gold medalist speed skater Bonnie Blair did the honors in Chicago. In Montreal started their 20th season, and Le Grand Orange was there to help usher in numero 20. Now to the action. First pitch of the year was Roger Clemens as he gets Gary Pettis to pop out to Spike Owens. So Clemens throws the first pitch of the year. First hit, well, you take a guess. Wade Boggs had 2 of them today. First hit of the year, owned by Wade Boggs of the Red Sox, a double off Jack Morris. First run of the year also at Fenway. It helps when you start an hour earlier than everybody else. Lou Whitaker plates Tom Brookins. Balk rule, we saw that all over. Mario Scotch and Soto called for one in Cincy. Doc Johnny B. Gooden called for one in Montreal. And Roger Clemens was called for 3 of them at Fenway. You want a hustler? Watch Mike Heath go sprawling after this ball into the TV camera. 161 games to go for Heath. In Cincinnati, Tracy Jones proves that the 88 baseball season is off to a flying start, and the Reds are hoping that they don't have to take a dive this year. They're sick and tired of finishing second place. It is good to see baseball.